let's say you want to have really strong friendships and that's something that you feel like you're lacking. Maybe you never felt seen or heard, because that's something that I would struggle with. Or maybe you never felt prioritized in a friendship. Or maybe you don't feel compatible in these friendships. Like there's not enough in common, you know? So how do we attract those relationships, those deep connections? First of all, you need to realize your worth and how powerful you are as a king and as a queen. Stop settling for bullshit. Just because you've seen your parents have certain relationships or certain friendships, or your friends or your cousins or your auntie, that doesn't mean that that's normal, that that's what you're also gonna get, okay? Because that's something that when I look back at, I thought, okay, well, at least they're whatever, at least they're good. What the fuck? Being a good person is the bare fucking minimum. I hope you're a good person. There's so much other things that you need to look for when you have when you're looking for friends, a relationship, whatever, right? And I used to just like think everybody was a friend, or like the first guy to give me attention, immediately I'd be like, yes, I'll be your girlfriend. Like, no, we can't be doing that. And the reason why people fall to stuff like that is because they do not know the inherent power that they have. They do not think that they're worthy of more, or that there even is more. Maybe they don't have the belief, maybe they've never seen it, and maybe they might have wounds going on. Maybe you might have some wounds going on, because I suffered from daddy issues. So when men would give me attention, I was like, what the fuck? I never had any men like really connections growing up as a kid. So once I got into middle school, high school, and I started getting that male attention, I didn't know how to act, especially since, you know, I had daddy issues. So that male validation is something that I was really looking for. So you see, things like that have to be healed. You have to release all of that. You have to go through you know, do your shadow work. If let's say you have any issues with like mommy or daddy, or anger issues, whatever type of issues, right, that you might be having, you know, the first step is always to release that. And that could be hard. A lot of people, you know, are not ready for that. But if you know you're ready for ascension and you want to live a better life, attract better friendships, partners, okay, it's very, very important for you to release and let go of whatever's carrying you, you know. I remember having issues with a cousin of mine, and now we're on great terms. You know, I healed everything. I communicated to her. Sometimes it's hard, but you have to communicate with those you love. I communicated with my dad. You have to have these conversations that are difficult. That's the only way that you're gonna grow. And for me, it was hard. So it took me a long time, but it took me a couple years to have these conversations. So with me, what I would do is, I remember I have a video where I recorded myself, like just saying all the things I would want to tell them. I was crying in the video, right? Do that, or even just write it down, everything, and then burn that shit. All of that is going to help you, okay? You have to release it, or it's going to be stagnant energy, and that energy could be used to alchemize. And when I say alchemize, that pain could be transformed into power. So for me, my pain was turned into a business. It was turned into a clothing brand. For you, that could turn into maybe you want to construct a house. Maybe you want to be a singer. You want to use your voice for that. Maybe you want to be a writer. Maybe you also want to have a brand. Maybe you want to turn it into content. There's so much that you can do to alchemize, right? So yeah, you have to just remember, okay, when people come to you, because you're going to attract people to come to you all the time, right? Just by you being yourself, people are going to come to you. They're going to want to get to know you. You have to have the power to discern, okay? If you know deep inside that this person is not going to serve you and it's not aligned with your highest self, you're going to have to decline that offer. And if you take that person, the first person you see, that's you thinking in lack. Okay, you have to remember there's an abundance of people, and maybe it's just not time right now for you to have this relationship. You got to keep pouring into the self. Okay, so with me, right, once I started focusing on myself, that's when these soul tribe connections started coming to me with ease. Like all of these beautiful connections came to me with ease, right? Focusing on thyself. So how do you focus on yourself, right? Focusing on yourself, for example, if you're feeling an emotion, do not just go about your day, okay? You have to love on yourself. Let's say you saw your little sister, your little brother, or somebody you really love. You see that they're upset. You can tell that their energy shifted because you know them really well, correct? So you're probably gonna tell them, hey, are you okay? Like, do you need something? You want a napkin, whatever, right? Do the same for yourself. Yeah, start checking in with yourself, just how you check in with others. If you're noticing a shift in energy because something just happened to you, bro, take a deep breath, my love. Write it down. Talk to yourself in the mirror. What happened? Are you okay? Give yourself a hug. And this is something that needs to be normalized, because we're quick to do this for others, but then you don't even know yourself and you can't even look at yourself in the mirror. How the fuck are we going to be there for others when you can't even look at yourself in the mirror? So please, I know it might be cringy, awkward, hard. do it, because it's literally gonna change your life. Okay, do it. Close the door. Put like fucking YouTube on if you don't want nobody to hear you. Talk to yourself, whatever. Okay, so please, you have to check in with yourself, because you deserve it. Okay, just those little things. That's what's gonna build your confidence. Like doing, like, another way to focus on yourself, right? Doing things that will build your confidence. For example, start going to the gym. Maybe go once a week. Okay, something that's easy for you, because you don't want it to be too strict and then you fuck up and then you lose confidence, right? You feel bad. So start doing something for yourself. Maybe you want to start taking yourself out to get a smoothie or coffee once a week, or you want to go to the library. Like, start doing things by yourself. Okay, do not wait on others to do shit with you. That's something that I had to learn. I had no friends, so I had no choice but to go by myself. And what I did, I remember my first solo day, I think it was at the beach. Oh no, I think it was at a restaurant, actually. Yeah, so what I did, since I was really nervous, is I brung, of course we have phones now, you could always watch a movie. Dulce! You could always watch a movie, watch your favorite comfort YouTuber, you could listen to music, read a book, color, have your journal. Honestly, it's way easier than how it looks going on a solo date. You start getting comfortable, right? And other ways to work on yourself is really try your best to start getting back to those things I used to love doing as a kid, right? Maybe it was singing, maybe it was volleyball, whatever it is that you used to like to do younger or a couple years ago. Try getting back into that, because it's gonna help you get to know yourself. You have to keep yourself focused. Like, I remember when I went through a breakup, it was like my first really serious relationship in high school. It was like 2 years basically, and it was very hard for me. When you lose somebody, it's like you're grieving when it comes to relationships. So with me, it gave me an opportunity to really better myself and focus on my brand, my clothing brand. And it was very painful, but I found things to do. And I remember when I went through that relationship, it was so hard. I remember crying. My mom was there. It was like bad. I didn't want to get out of my bed. But I remember searching up like how to get over relationships. I would watch so much videos about this, and I got a lot of good tips from these people on YouTube, these podcasts. And movement is super important, you guys. We have to also work on, like, stop scrolling so much. Stop, because it's gonna make it's gonna make it worse for you. Okay, my love, you have to really get to know yourself if you want to attract these relationships. So yeah, like, I'm flowing in this video. I appreciate your guys' patience. And the reason I say to not scroll as much, right? I mean, if you are gonna scroll, make sure it's high vibrational content. And the reason I say not to scroll is because you could use that time pouring it into yourself. And I'm gonna give you guys more examples, right, to pour into yourself. So be more slow with yourself. Maybe when you're putting lotion on, you're showering. Just try new things. Read a book. You gotta keep yourself busy. Yeah, the point is keep yourself busy. Don't just be sitting here all day. Keeping yourself busy, it's exactly what's gonna attract you to those people that you were looking for. And also, guys, the way you treat yourself, other people will treat you. So with me, I remember I would always listen to affirmations, like when I was starting out my healing journey, when I really was insecure. Always. And that shit got into my subconscious mind. I was always listening to podcasts that were positive, uplifting, like Divine Feminine, and all of that knowledge got programmed into me. So you want to make sure that's what you're keeping, that's what you're doing with yourself, and you're like, admiring yourself, and you're speaking up for yourself. You're having those hard conversations, because something that I had to realize, right, in my journey, my spiritual awakening journey, where I was able to attract good friendships and relationships, was setting boundaries. Okay, learning how to say no. That's something that I was very uncomfortable with, but I realized, like, saying no to somebody is saying yes to yourself, and you deserve a yes. Okay, you deserve to listen to your gut and what your gut is saying. Communication is huge. That's something that I really took away from my journey. And I also saw a therapist, so maybe a therapist can help you. If it wasn't for my therapist, this is not even sponsored, y'all, I'm just keeping it a buck. I do not think I would, no, I think I would ascend, but it would take me probably a bit longer, because she gave me a lot of awareness. Like, I remember I would have a lot of crushes come up for me in my single, I've been single for a year and a half, right? And I've had like a lot of crushes, a good amount of crushes or whatever, throughout my single journey. And in the beginning, I told her, like, hey, like, well, we have this in common, or like, he did this for me, like, maybe he complimented me, maybe he bought me something, maybe he bought something for my brand, maybe he opened the door for me, maybe he did a lot of things like that, maybe he also has a business, whatever. Things like that would instantly attract me. like instantly, and I would like start fantasizing about this person. So she told me like, Arlene, you have to start, we can't get too excited. Like, yes, okay, it's nice to have a couple things in common, but it doesn't mean you know the person yet. So you have to have trust and give it time. We can't automatically cling to the first couple of things we like about somebody, right? We have to discern and we have to listen. And yeah, and with me, something that I also started doing that helped me attract the right people into my life is whenever I felt discomfort, whether it's like with something going on in my family or a friendship, maybe they did something that I didn't like, or maybe they came late, instead of me suppressing that, because older Lenny would always suppress shit because I was afraid of like confrontation and shit and like upsetting the other person, right? Now, even though it is scary, this is something my therapist actually really helped me with, was having the difficult conversation, like letting them know like, hey, next time can you let me like know before, or like, hey, this made me feel this way, like just using I statements. Don't try to say it like, you did this, you made me feel like that. Say, I feel this way, just be very careful how we're saying it. And it's not something my therapist also taught me, is it's not about them. Like, when you're communicating something, let's say somebody did something to get you upset and you want to communicate it to them, it's not really for them, it's more for you, so you could release it, okay? And it's also going to help the relationship, because we need communication, right? Or we just don't know each other. You need, like, everything that you don't like, you got to say that shit. Use your fucking throat chakra, because that's how you're going to live your most aligned and authentic life. Because if you're not your authentic self, you're not going to be attracting people who truly like you at all, because they don't really know you. You're not showing your authentic side. And you got to trust that there's people who will be there for you, okay? So you just need to constantly be wanting to better yourself, and you need to put yourself on a pedestal, because when you put yourself on a pedestal, that's when people start coming to you, okay? Because people like to see that. People love to see somebody who knows their power. You need to act accordingly. And with me, I used to be somebody growing up where like people in my life would see me as the slow one, the stupid one, nice and not in a good way, like kind of just like somebody who just push and push and push and push and tap and be so annoying to, and I won't say anything. And I hated that perception of me. I hated how people think that they could just like talk to me like that. It was just normalized, and I never stood up for myself, or even let them know that was even a problem, because I was so afraid to. And I remember when I was confronting somebody who would treat me like this, they weren't even aware that I was upset with it, because I never told them. And that's on me as well. So we have to protect ourselves, okay? Because you're worthy. I love you so much. I'm literally showing you right now the evidence that you are able to be that highest version of yourself. Yeah, like you need to start acting like it, because that person already exists. Yeah, you need to start acting accordingly, right? So with me, I stepped into that new school confident. I was smiling, I was talking to people, even though it was like nerve-wracking for me. I was raising my hand, I was trying. So you have to just do it, even if it's scary. You got this. Just stop. Just stop. So with me too, like I remember I had this one friendship, right? And me and her were aligned at the time. We were super aligned. I never really felt anybody who I felt that aligned to growing up, in New York. And I really loved our friendship because, she was also like big into spirituality and like meditation and yoga, and we both loved Jhené Aiko, and we're just very compatible. She's a Pisces, I'm a Scorpio. We're both into fashion, and we could just talk about anything together. We were always like, no, I'm not gonna say that, but yeah, I just felt like it was super aligned at the time. She was supporting me, I'd support her. We had similar visions. We were both artists, creative. We loved the beach and stuff, but she was very avoidant. So, when we would get close, she would get distant. She wouldn't respond, or she wouldn't show up to certain events. Like, it's like she would self-sabotage something that was good, because she was aware that we had a good connection. And honestly, I never liked that, because I felt like I couldn't trust her, because when I wanted her to show up for me, she wouldn't be there, or I don't know, she just would be distant. I could just feel it in her energy. And I know that consciously she wanted to, but she communicated to me that she wasn't doing okay mentally. So, maybe she just wasn't ready for a connection. But yeah, like there'd be times where I felt like the energy wasn't really too much reciprocated, even though I know she wanted to, she tried to. Like, I was always there for her consistently, and sometimes she wouldn't give me that same energy. And I remember talking to my therapist about this, because I really loved her. And there's this time where she just stopped talking to me completely, and I was so hurt by that. Like, I remember it was my birthday, she didn't tell me happy birthday, like, and we had spent her birthday together. I'm like, girl, what's happening? And like, she just never talked to me, and I never talked to her. And then I talked to my therapist about how this made me feel, and she told me, you know, I could tell you really love her and care about her, so have a conversation with her. And I had the conversation with her. It was hard, but she was like, girl, I completely understand. You know, she apologized, and she said that she was dealing with her own things, and that, you know, we could have a new start. And, you know, and then after that conversation, she was still kind of the same. Like, there wasn't really a shift on how she treated me. So that's when I decided to let her go. And I can't have somebody like that in my life. So even though it seemed like we were aligned, she had her own things she had to deal with. And if I stayed in that relationship, that shows that I don't really love myself, and that I feel like I have to be always forcing and being the one to communicate and do all of this and that in a relationship, when that's not the truth. Okay, it goes both ways, and I deserve to be loved and respected. So yeah, I let go of that. So you see, when you're dealing with stuff like that, do not stay in a relationship like that, because if you stay in a relationship like that, you're holding yourself from beautiful connections and blessings. Okay, so I said bye-bye. I have another amazing friend who I'm super aligned with from high school, and we've had times where we might have had issues from her side or my side, and we literally always communicate about it. So that's why we're thriving, and we literally grow together. Like, a lot of friends fall off because, you know, life happens and minds shift, but we've just been growing and ascending together, and we have this great mentality. We support each other, we show up for each other, we're honest, we have great similar visions. So I'm really grateful for her. And it's like, you gotta, and I told her, like, we gotta keep watering each other, right? If you don't water a connection, or only one person is watering it, that shit is not gonna end up okay. It's gonna spill. So, you know, just communicating, hey, make sure you water, then they water. If they care about you, they're gonna adjust and they're gonna water. And that's what they're supposed to do. If they don't, say bye-bye. And like, you know, as you start to go about your life and you do those scary, uncomfortable things, right, you're gonna start meeting people randomly, and you never know who could be that your twin flame or your soulmate or your best friend ever, right? Just for me, like, in the path where I started to really know myself and attract great people is because I started doing things that I was scared of. So, you know, for my clothing brand, that was scary, starting a business. And the way that I even started my business, you guys, is because my city had a Shark Tank, and I could make a story time on that, right? For the city, for teens, and I ended up winning second place. But even joining that Shark Tank was out of my comfort zone, guys. I didn't even know about business, but, you know, I won second place, and it was through a presentation in front of like 20 to 30 people, which was a lot for me at the time. You know, these are like judges, professionals, so it was scary for me, but, you know, I did it, and I ended up finding a love and a passion for public speaking. And it's funny because a couple months after, I got an opportunity to actually be a co-host for an arts awards in another city in my state here in Connecticut, and it was paid, and I did a phenomenal job. Like, I literally acted as if I was in the Grammys. Like, I wore a whole red dress, red lipstick, I was watching Grammy videos, I was practicing with my co-host on like the lines we were gonna say, and it was so amazing to have this paid opportunity that I attracted because of, I was just pretending to be confident, right? And the person who gave me this recommendation, she said that she thinks I'd be a good person for this. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, no, like, I haven't even like really done public speaking. Like, I was gonna say no to her, but then I was like, damn, like, they're really paying me for this. Like, that's amazing. I was like, you know what, I could do this. And I just pushed myself through it, even though it kind of was scary. You have to do the scary shit. And now I love, like, now that shit is easy. I love public speaking. It feels so good, and it feels so aligned to my highest self. So, like, for me, like, let's say we're in a crowd, we're in a crowd, we're out, we're doing something, and there's karaoke, and we're with strangers. I'm gonna be the type to just say, fuck it, let me do it. And I have a video of me doing it. Like, now I just love putting myself in those situations where it's awkward or scary, because I've done it so many times, and it's always led me to success. So you have to do that. You have to just try. It's so fun. It gives you this thrill, and that's what life is about. So that's another way that you get to pour into yourself, by doing things that are scary for you. Like, if you're always taking a certain route, decide to go another route one day. Try something different. Buy that crazy outfit. Like, I don't, just do it. Like, what are some other things that I did that were scary that are coming up for me? I don't know. I feel like I've done so much scary things. You guys, maybe it'll come up for me later. But you just have to, yeah. Like, so yeah, like, now that you carry yourself a certain way, right, you're gonna start attracting certain people. And you have to also remember that you are the only person that determines the connections that you have. You have the choice to cut it off or continue growing this relationship, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like, growing up in society, they program us to think that we need to have as many friends as possible, right? But it's not about the quantity of friendships or people. It's about the quality, okay? You want to be poured into each other, because I'm a big believer of you are who you hang around with. So like I said, I don't want to just be around people just cause. I want to feel seen and connected. I like deep connections, not over the surface connections, okay? And when I was younger, I used to just be around a big crowd because I thought it was cool, but it's not cool if you don't feel seen or loved. And I remember, like, when I was younger, I would invite motherfuckers to my birthday, but only like one person would show up. So it's really just, and now I know for sure, like, my people are showing up, and if they don't, they're communicating to me, and I know it's for a valid reasoning. Like, I can trust and depend on them, okay? They're here for me. So yeah, you guys, take that belief out your head. It's all about really finding like the quality, and seeing how what you guys have in common, how you guys work together, being honest on how the vibration is. You got to be super honest, and just doing those things, doing the thing that you would want to do with a friend by yourself. Like, let's say for example, you love yoga, go do a yoga class. Maybe you love to paint, go do a painting class. Go to a class or an environment where your friend would be at, some a place that somebody who also likes the things that you like to do, maybe the beach, right? Put yourself in those environments, and that's gonna come to you. And also, something I realized, you guys, is that when you're out alone, people feel way more confident approaching you. So that's a really good thing about being alone. And also, guys, talk to strangers. Talking to strangers is something that really helped my confidence. Like, just complimenting, like, hey, I love your smile, I love your hair, I love your shirt. That's something that's super easy to do, that's going to give you a confidence boost. And you're also pouring into somebody, right? You're making somebody's day, and it feels so good to just, like, guys, I will go somewhere and I'll compliment like over 6 people like in 5 minutes. I'm so serious, y'all. Like, I love doing it. I do it every day. Or just like, when smiling at the bus driver, smiling at the person walking their dog. How was your day? Thank you. Like, little things like that just make you feel better about life. And just being grateful for the connection you already have. Because even if you feel like you have no friends, there's still somebody who loves you. Trust me, there has to be at least one person who still loves you on earth. And I love you. God loves you, because you're still here, you're breathing. So just remember that you are supported, and you gotta love yourself though, because we could all love you, but if you do not love yourself, you're not gonna feel it at all. So these are some ways that you can love yourself also. Yeah, when I didn't love myself and I wanted to start loving myself, I would write down, right, the 5 love languages. And I would write down, like, break down like what I would want my future man to, cater to me in these love languages. And I would just cater myself to it. So guys, give yourself physical touch, hug yourself, touch yourself. Feels so good. You deserve it. Kiss yourself, okay? Soothe yourself. Talk to yourself, words of affirmation. Okay, then there's also acts of service. So clean your space, get your work done for your business, whatever it is you got going on. Acts of service is very important. Wash your hair, do your skincare, like, do that for yourself. Gift giving, get yourself some things. All of those things that you wish people would do for you, do it for yourself, because that's going to help you strengthen your relationship with self. Spending time with yourself, you see, solo dates, all of that. Those are the 5 love languages. And it's not just about like this exterior things, like, oh, self-care, getting my hair done, whatever, right? No, it's about really being there for your soul. So I love meditation. Meditation is something that really helped me. Or maybe it could be prayer for you. Just sitting still with the breath, it really helps you feel this ease of comfort and protection and trust. Being with the breath, being with self. You've been here with yourself since you were a little girl, little boy, and you've grown so much. Being compassionate with self, and knowing that everything you're going through is a part of your journey. It's a part of the process. And I trust that I said everything that I could about really attracting the people you want to attract in your life. Like, you are who you attract. So if you want somebody who's loyal, you got to be loyal to yourself. You got to be loyal to others. If you want somebody who's loving, be loving to yourself. You cannot be cold wanting somebody who's super loving to you, okay? Don't be afraid to give out love, because then you're holding yourself back from receiving love, and you deserve love. There's a plenty abundance of love here. Trust me, because I am love and you are love, right? And we exist. And look at all these beautiful creations, all made out of love. We're made out of love. So you have to be who you want to attract as well. And just trust. Don't cling on to whoever, okay? You have yourself. It's better to be by yourself than to be around the wrong company. Trust me. Don't ignore yourself. Don't self-sabotage looking at a screen all day. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look at those things that the best version of you is actually doing and accomplishing, and know that you have it all within. I trust that this is everything that I needed to share with you guys about attracting the right people into your life. I also had a list of what I look for in a man, also friendships. So having a physical list of those traits of what you want to see definitely helps. I remember I had a voice memo as well, and honestly, after I made those things, I had a whole bunch of men who were not aligned come in, but that's a part of the journey to discern. And I'm so grateful. And I also don't want you to compromise. So let's say you have a list of like what you want in a partner, and it's let's say it's they're successful, they're a family person, they're confident, and they respect women. But let's say that they happen to not be confident, but they have everything else. Do not settle for that. Or let's say maybe they don't respect women. Don't settle for that, because trust me, there's going to be somebody who literally ticks every single box. And of course, like, okay, if it's something that's very small, yes, and like it outweighs the good, I'm sorry. If it's something that's very small and it doesn't really harm, since they're so good, it doesn't really change like your guys' connection, then yes, you could stay in it. But I want you to not compromise so much, okay? Because there is somebody, right, who will tick all of your boxes. Trust me, because every time I've been in a relationship, the person just happens to be better. That's just how it is, y'all. It just keeps getting better. The men I attract, the people I attract. So please don't settle, my love, because love is real. Friendships are real. You can be valued and loved and supported and respected. Even if you didn't see that in the past, release that shit. Because there's no way you're going to meet. Yeah, I should have said that. That's like the first step, yeah. If you want high quality friendships, high quality relationships, leave the low quality relationships in the past. You cannot be clinging on to the fucking past if you want new. Okay, my love? Release that shit. No longer belongs here. So yeah, my loves, just know that it always gets better, and don't be afraid to walk away. Every time I will leave a relationship, I block, I unfollow, because I cannot be, you don't have access to me anymore, so why am I here watching face? You're not in my life. So that's what helps me heal all the time. Important to myself. Block, done. There's only so much more that I could, like, it's like you're clinging on to this tiny ass fucking, what's it called? Yeah, you're clinging onto this tiny ass bear when there's this huge godly bear there for you. Like, hell no, I'm not gonna cling to that little ugly ass bullshit, that dirty ass shit. Hell no. When there's some beautiful creation that's here for you, and I need you to trust in that. You need to trust. And it's crazy because even last year, maybe I wouldn't have believed that, because I think I was like 6 months from breaking up from a relationship. So maybe I would have believed that, or maybe I think I would have, or maybe even a year ago or 2 years ago I would have believed that. But I'm here to be the testimony that yes, it gets better. Yes, there's people out there for you. Yes, you are loved. And it feels so fucking good. It just keeps getting better. So remember, okay, you are able to attract those connections and relationships. You just got to set the standard and be strict on it, because it's going to come to you, okay? I love you. Mwah.